Okay. I guess we're doing this, huh? I'm David Phillips with the Sound Shop in Indian Trail, North Carolina. I've been in the industry professionally for 16 years, and I've been with my shop for 6 years this November. If I had to choose one thing as my installation specialty, I would say it's problem solving. My ability to create a solution for any kind of issue or application that arises is definitely my number one. Being that I'm a one-man shop, I wear all different caps, installer, fabricator, salesman, customer service, all of these things. So I find myself getting better because I have to. But I really like cars that are harder, that are different, and it makes it where it's more fun to be able to do my job, because I like that challenge of having to figure something out. A car that, for instance, can't have a double din or has all pass filters or whatever, kind of weird issues arise. I think it's great and fun for me to do the research that you have to do to be able to figure things out. On different forums, talking to different friends, just doing traditional things. But like 12 Volt Insider, things of that nature, where you're talking to people, or Educar. It's fun to find solutions to things. And I think that's my greatest skill set. My installation philosophy is going to be quality over quantity. I've consistently basically pushed myself to be better. And in doing so, it has kind of extended your timeline for, getting jobs done, if you will. Still reasonable time frames, but, a deck slam that would have taken, 15 minutes years ago, it's going to take me 30 minutes now, because I'm doing it correctly. And my customers understand that. They don't mind that at all. In fact, that's why they seek me out, and I get referrals from other businesses locally now on account of that. So basically, that's where I'm at. My attention to detail has essentially increased my quality. And I may not have the highest volume of vehicles rolling through my shop, but I definitely have a very high quality, specifically in my area where I'm at, my locale. Other installation professionals that have had an influence on my career, I'm going to focus on just this year, because obviously there's been so many people that have influenced me over the years. But directly this year, I'd have to say is some of my best friends, Eric Markland, Charles Brazil, Aaron Schlotterbach. That's right, I said his name wrong. Schlotterneck. Those three guys, definitely my top. They influence me almost on a daily basis, and I'm lucky to have guys like that in my life.
What is it like working with Mr. David from the Sound Shop?
I've had a couple opportunities to work with David at a couple different trainings on various projects where he's come down and given me a hand with. He's a great guy to work with. He's high energy, super funny. So in stressful situations, he's able to kind of diffuse that, make you laugh, and definitely able to come up with some quick solutions and execute on them to be able to move on to the next phase of projects. So that's all the kind of stuff that I like in coworkers. I considered him a great friend and a good source of information. So yeah, he's a good guy. Can't say enough positive things about him.
I really can't do anything but smile thinking about David's growth this year. And each year it's just a constant progression. His troubleshooting, his way of detail, wiring, system layout, even some of the very minute details of the way he labels everything now, some of the wiring techniques. His fabrication has always been on point. But this is not a Fabrication of the Year award, this is an Installer of the Year. And he's very well-rounded, and the growth has just been an absolute pleasure to watch.
My biggest challenge this year has been making sure I get home to spend quality time with my kids and my wife. My daughter's 2.5 and my son's 3 months. And, I've been really focusing on getting home and having dinner every night with them. So regardless of what I got going on at the shop, I make sure that I roll out of here between 5 and 6. I live 15 minutes away, so I can go home, I can do my family stuff, eat dinner, tuck the kids into bed, all that kind of stuff, do our night rituals, if you will. And then I can come back to work if I need to and get stuff done. So I've been making sure that I actually do that, and then I've also been trying to get focus my time, if you will, staying more focused during my regular business hours, Monday through Friday, 9 to 5, and then obviously trying not to work Saturdays and Sundays. So I make sure that I can set myself up that, I'm not actually having to work those times as much. I still come in and do stuff, but not full days on Saturday and a full day on Sunday kind of a thing. So that's been one of the biggest obstacles, but I've really been pushing through. One of the things that I did, aside from making sure I stay more focused at work, is I've actually adjusted to where I don't answer the phone calls that much anymore. If I'm free and I'm walking by the phone or it's sitting next to me or whatever, and I've got a free hand, I will pick up the phone and answer the phone, but I try not to. I found that it's more of a distraction between it and customers walking in. So it's kind of my way of getting around that. So what we do is we let them leave voicemails. I actually say in my voicemail, suggest dropping an email because it's easier for me to respond with that. And I can do that over a course of time. I don't have to answer it all at one time. So I use email a lot more now, or social media messaging is the same thing. And then I come in the next morning, I'll play out my voicemails and I'll go through and start calling people back. I want customers to remember about my actual service of installation, if you will, that I took pride in the job, that I have integrity in the job itself, that it's done well, that I stand behind my installation forever, and that, that I'm not cutting any corners, that I've evolved over time and tried to, get everything on par with OEM standards as far as installation, as far as materials. We use a lot more composites, acrylics, expanded foam, PVC, whatever. We do all these things to try and integrate appropriately with the vehicles. There's definitely been a turn in, at least locally anyways, towards that whole integration. Years ago, everybody wanted to see the big sub enclosures and the amplifier. They wanted to see every piece of gear they had. The big fiberglass bathtubs that were in trunks. That's not a thing anymore. Now everybody wants their trunk space, so they want that functionality, and they don't want to see anything. They want it to be OEM looking, and I love that. I used to hate it. I'm not gonna lie. Like I've changed too, but I absolutely love that, and that's one of those things that people take away from my installation is that it's done well. Good enough that if you go back to the dealership, it's hard for them to differentiate what came and what didn't. And that includes, and particularly includes, behind the scenes on your wiring and things of that nature that you don't always see, and your ways that you mount, using nut certs and factory bolt holes and whatnot instead. I feel like I should be part of the top 50 installers and hopefully part of the top 12 this year. I have constantly evolved by going to different trainings. Went to Mobile Solutions last year and this year. This year we did the Orca training. But me, and when I say we, I'm the only guy at the shop, but my friends, Aaron and actually Charles, because they're both Orca dealers as well. We all went out there to that training and we had a blast. It was a great time. And learn new things. That's what it's about. Learn about tuning a little bit more. Ken Ward was there teaching that, so that was really, really awesome that we were lucky enough to have that. And I finally got to a place in, I guess, where I was ready to understand more of the tuning stuff. I feel like I constantly push myself to be better. I reinvest in myself educational-wise. That's something that, my father and mother have always pushed me to do. I went and got my bachelor's degree. It took me 8 years to get it, but I did my bachelor's degree in actually business. And, it's something that's helped me along the way. There's a lot of things that I learned from that. Obviously, there's a lot of things I learned from hands-on as well, if not more. But nonetheless, I constantly try and re-educate myself. I reinvest financially by buying different tools and whatnot, for myself to make myself a better installer. Because you're limited by your knowledge and your ability to use the tools that you have. So being able to keep adding things in, it's gonna make me a better person and a better installer. But I feel like I'm worthy to be in the top 50 installers, and I hope you choose me. Thanks.